Happy day, Joy Starter. Hope you're having the best day. Yes, I am rocking, if you're watching the video version of this, my super patch, my Zen patch. I still love them. I still use them. If you have questions, we'll drop a link in the show notes. I love my super patches. Also, I want to say about this week's episode is I'm so stoked to take you back in the vault. If you haven't heard me say, this year is 10 years of I'm Changing the Narrative. 10 years of I'm Changing the Narrative. And so we're taking you back in the vault of some of my most amazing talks from the very beginning. And this is something that people have constantly requested from me over the 10 years. I want to hear your talks. I want to hear your talks. I wish I could go with you. So enjoy, take notes. This is a message while it's changed, and it changes every single time that I go in and speak, because like at Minnesota, I've been once a year. So my message changes every year. But the foundation of the message is the same, y'all. And I'm so proud. Please remember, as always, to like, subscribe, share this with one person, persons, 10 persons that need to hear this. Love you guys.
Yesterday, I was sitting in an airport on the way here, and I'm sitting there having a little appetizer before I come, and there's this woman next to me, and we strike up a conversation. She says, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm a sportscaster," and then I go to colleges, and I talk to young players about purpose, passion, platform, how do we view women, and how do we treat women. And she said, "Oh, you know, football players ain't nothing but a bunch of bleep." I said, "Ma'am, with all due respect, that's not the truth. Let me tell you about players that are doing it the right way all over the country, including this room. But guess what happens? When a guy does bad, what do they talk about? They talk about the guy that screwed up, don't they? They ain't talking about the good stuff you did. So what I'm asking you to do is help me help you change the narrative on college football, because nothing makes me angrier than that woman who said, you know, football players ain't nothing but a bunch of bleep. And then the next sentence she followed up with was, I'm not really a sports fan. And I'm a spicy Latina. I was like, ma'am, you know, if you knew anything about sports, you would actually, and I said it very nicely and respectfully, but I was like, if you knew anything about sports, you would know that there's actually a lot of great guys doing a lot of great things. But there are people out there that think this, right? They have these preconceived notions about you. At one of the last schools I went to, we were talking back and forth, and we will at the end of this. And I asked what some of you guys are experiencing. Like, what are some of the things you're facing? You know what guys told me? You get stereotyped. Anybody in here get stereotyped? How's that make you feel? Disrespected. Yeah. Yeah. You know what makes me angry is because I've been covering this sport since I've been out of school, and I love football, and I've given my life to it. It's literally my other language. What makes me angry is when people say football players are nothing but a bunch of dumb jocks. That makes me angry. What are some other stereotypes that you hear that make you angry about yourself, or people put it on you? What are some stereotypes you hear? You beat women, okay. You're dumb, yeah. Anything else? Spoiled brats. You're above the law. Anything else? You can just shout it out. You don't. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Listen, here's what I need you to know. We're gonna hit a lot of topics in this short amount of time we have together. Here's what I need you to know. I'm fighting for you out there. I'm advocating for you out there. I am just like the woman I saw in the restaurant yesterday. I am defending you out there. I also, having gone all over the country, know what you're experiencing. I can understand to an extent what you're experiencing. And what I want to help you do is learn how to fight those stereotypes, right? So if somebody's stereotype of you is that you're always in trouble and that you're above the law, how can you fight that stereotype? You can fight that stereotype by taking the headlines back for good, by doing good things, by doing kind things, by going out of your way. I had a player say to me the other day, but Rachel, it's just easy to be a dog. It is easy to be a dog. It's hard to be a king, right? It's hard to do the right thing. It's hard to put people ahead of yourself. It's hard to go the extra mile. I had a player at Baylor, And I'll tell you what a king is in a moment. I had a player at Baylor say to me, he messaged me afterwards, and he said, I was leaving the talk, and I'm driving, and all of a sudden I see a wreck to my left, but I was late for dinner. And he said, it didn't look that bad. And he said, so I drove on past, and then I went, oh my, like, that's not a king. That's not what a king does. It's how you break the stereotype. So he whipped his car around. Turns out the mom had like a really bad arm injury, and there were 2 kids in the car. And the guy was able to comfort those kids and be with those kids until the cops got there and the ambulance got there. And I said, how did that make you feel? And he said, like a king. I want to make you rise above the stereotypes. I want to help you figure out, as Trey said, everything that you were created to be. And if you do that, you'll be a better football player, a better boyfriend, a better citizen, a better student, a better man, a better king. Because it's easy, like I said, to be a dog. It's hard to be a king. Well, Rachel, what's a king? And we didn't talk about this the last time I was here because I've learned so much. I sit and I talk with you and I learn from you at every stop. What are you challenged with? What are you experiencing? What's going on? A king is extraordinary. A king is a man that goes the extra mile. A king is a man that respects, protects, and cherishes women. A king is a person that when he's not around, still gives extra effort. When nobody, no coach is looking at you and no one is looking at you, as a matter of fact, you are by yourself and you do the right thing, that's a king. A king keeps his word. A king gives max effort, as I just said. And a king puts other people before him. And when you're a king, you're going to get a queen. Anybody got a queen in here? Anybody dating a queen? Anybody got a queen? Okay. You don't have to be embarrassed. That's okay. Because see, here's the deal. Here's the deal, gentlemen. You might be able to attract a queen if you're not a king, but you won't keep her. And a queen is the kind of woman that you want to have babies with, you want to marry her, you want to give her your last name, you want to take care of her. She is the kind of woman that will wreck your life in the best possible way. That's a queen. And if you are just like a king, a poser king, you ain't going to keep her. You can attract her, but you're not going to keep her. Think about these relationships you have, right? Think about what you're doing. Thinking about the girl you're dating. Thinking about the girls you are dating, whatever it may be. Are you treating them in a way that you're proud of? Are you treating them in a way that a king would? I mean, can you say that? Can you look in the mirror and say, right? And even the ones that you need to keep a little arm's length distance from. One of the last schools I was at, the guy said, okay, Rachel, but what if I'm dating 3 girls? I said, that's fine as long as all 3 of them know about each other. He said, so it's a king to date 3 women? I said, dude, if you got time to play football and date 3 women, more power to you. But the king aspect comes in, do they know about each other? Right? Because if they don't, that's not being a king. Because you're not being honest and you're not keeping your word. Right? If you got time for 3 different women, they all know about each other, more power to you. I'm not saying you have to be with one woman. All I'm saying is I want you to be the kind of man who is a stand-up man. Anybody ever been ghosted in here? You know what ghosting is? Where somebody just disappears on you? Anybody ever been ghosted? All right, I got another one. Anybody else done the ghosting? All right, so I'm going to stand in front of you. He's like left his hand up for a really long time in the back. Was that? He was like proud of it. He's like, I did the ghosting and I was ghosted. So here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've done both to people. Back in the day when I wasn't a queen, I've done both to people. And guess what? If you've had it done to you, it sucks, doesn't it? You're talking to somebody, you're, whatever. You might be 3 weeks. It might be 3 months. Hell, some people I know, 6 months later, somebody just disappeared on them. They went out to get the milk and they never came back. I'm serious. That's savage, isn't it? That's terrible. That's terrible. We're laughing, and I'm laughing too, but what I'm asking you to do is think about how it made you feel when somebody did that to you. How'd that make you feel? Like crap, right? It made you feel terrible. It made you question yourself. It made you question the man you are. It made you question why you were in this relationship. What happened? What did I do wrong? It makes you doubt yourself. So all I'm asking you to do on a real, day-to-day level is just man up. Man up. If you don't want to see her anymore, if it ain't working out, if something's going on, y'all, we have this thing called a telephone now. You don't even got to see anybody in person. And to be honest with you, Coach knows there's some women probably shouldn't be seeing in person. I mean, there's some women, and no disrespect, but right now they aren't being queens, and they're volatile, right? So I'm just asking you, though, even if you don't see them in person, send them a text and say, hey, listen, it's not going to work out. It's just not going to work out, But when you just leave somebody, is that being a king? Because we always try to think about how it would make us feel if we put the shoe on the other foot, right? When's the last time y'all been on a date? Monday? Okay, so what were some ways that you were chivalrous to her?
Open her car door.
Mm-hmm.
Hold the door open.
Open the...
It's my girlfriend. Go to dinner.
I know that, but you know what though? Listen. No, stay with me. It's not enough for me to stand up here and say to you, be a good man, when some of you, let's be honest, and I had some crazy stuff happen in my childhood too, have never seen a good man in terms of your childhood treating a woman well. It's not enough for me to say be a good man, so that's why I'm sitting here and asking you, if you are crazy about somebody, if you want to be chivalrous, if you want to be a gentleman, how do you show her that? How do you show her that if you're interested? Y'all all just clammed up real quick. Pay for a meal? First time, okay. He said talk to her with respect. Be there for her all the time. Listen to her. This is funny. On your anatomy, on your body, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Some of y'all be asking people out and you ain't even curious about them. You don't even want to really hear them talk. You're like, just shut your mouth. You are pretty. No, why are y'all doing that? Y'all need to be taking somebody out on a date or spending time with somebody that you actually like, that you actually want to spend time with, right? So next time, listen, I always say this. Here's a little dating advice for you. Next time you're out on a date or you like somebody, I always say dating's like volleyball. You hold the ball for a little bit, you hold it, and then you volley it, and then she holds it for a little bit, talks, answers, asks you a question, and then you send it back on over. Y'all, if somebody holds that volleyball too long, other person's going to go to the bathroom and never come back. I'm serious. I've had one of those dates before where I wanted to run away. So hold the ball, volley, be curious about her. I had a guy down here just a second ago say, I ain't got a lot of money for dates. Let me tell you something. Your queen would be happy with a box of dollar macaroni and a candle from the dollar store. What I want you to start thinking about is true. What I want you to start thinking about, stay with me, what I want you to start thinking about is this, cutting through the you know what. I want you to start thinking about the woman. You're going to be the man you're supposed to be, but I want you to start thinking about whether it's now or in 5 years from now, I want you to start thinking about the kind of woman that you want to settle down with, right? The kind of woman that you want to be with. And the woman that wants to buy you to buy her things, wants you to do things for her, always wants to be on your arm, always wants to do these things. Maybe that's not the woman that wants to be with you for here. Okay? And when you love somebody, when you're crazy about them, regardless of whether you're crazy about them, here's what the world needs. I don't care if they're the girl on campus that, let's just say it nicely, is not doing it the right way. Or it's the girl you love. You know what we women need? We need you to respect, protect, and cherish us. You know why I know that? Because for all these things that I've accomplished, for all this stuff that I have done, for all these amazing opportunities I've had, and as strong as I am in a lot of ways, I needed you one night in my 20s. When someone who claimed to love me drugged me from one end of the house to the other by my hair. And there were 3 other men in the house that night, and I screamed bloody murder to the top of my freaking lungs. And no one came out of their rooms. I needed a king that night, and no one came to help me. So that's why I'm so passionate about being on these campuses and teaching you how to be a king, because if you're a king, man, you'll start to look at women differently. You'll start to want to take care of them. There's a reason why afterwards when I give out these bracelets and I hug you, I kind of like want to get up underneath your arm. I want you to know what it feels like to protect a woman, to respect her and to cherish her. Because for all these amazing things I've accomplished, I needed you that night. If you were in that house that night, would you have protected me? Would you have come out of that room? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I needed you, and there was not a king in that house. And here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. The world needs you. I hope to God it's not something as crazy as that, but it might be like my friend from Baylor where there was a car wreck, and he turned around and he was able to comfort those kids till the cops got there. And I said, how did it make you feel? And he said, like a king. I want you to feel like kings. Your whole life you have been told that you're a king on the football field, and I want you to know that you're a king in there. Your soul was created to be a king. You were created to serve and to give back and to leave this world a better place than when you found it. I'm telling you with every conviction I have, if I died tomorrow, I would die a happy person, a happy woman, because I know I have given everything to crisscross this country, to support you guys, to defend you guys, to lift you up. Because here's the deal, this whole talk came from the summer of 2016, and it was all negative news. I mean, you turned it on Fox Sports, CBS, ESPN, and it was domestic violence, sexual violence, guys getting in trouble, robberies, felonies. It was bad. And everybody on these radio shows on Sirius, they would just say, oh, it's just the way it is today. It's just the way it is. And I could have been one of those people that just said it's just the way it is. But I'm a do something girl, and I believe you're do something men. And I said, no, that is not just the way it is. And I'm not going to let the guys that are stealing the headlines speak for everybody that are on these campuses. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to these guys about being everything that they were created to be so that we can take the headlines back for good. And we're not going to let the guys that are doing it the wrong way steal the headlines. Let me tell you something. The world is hungry for good news. We got it twisted. Music and culture and movies, they tell you, again, permission to speak really frank, what the media is saying. They're telling you it's not masculine to say you got problems. You got to keep it all in. You got to be the tough guy. Music, culture, and movies and magazines also tells you what makes you happy is money and things and women and bling. And let me tell you something. I know some of the richest people out there on the night of the NFL draft that are the saddest, loneliest people. Mo money, mo problems. I'm not saying don't aspire to go to the league. I'm not saying that. I want you to have dreams. But what I am saying is I want you to have depth in your soul for something else besides things that are not going to make you happy. Trey, you were telling me about the player that came in here and talked about that. Y'all, listen, you get the dream, you get there, you go to the next level, that is amazing. But what are you doing with it? I had a guy at Washington State tell me my brother's on his second contract. He's got a big house, keeps buying dogs, and I realized, and he's lonely, and he's just got things and dogs, and where'd the money go? And he's on his second contract, and what's he doing? Your talk made me realize he's not being a king. I'm saying it's fine for you to want those things. It's fine for you to aspire. It's fine for you to have dreams, but who are you going to help along the way? Who are you going to go back and get along the way? Who are you going to bring with you along the way if you get that dream? Because here's the thing, it's not about you. You were not born for you. I know that. I know that for a fact because I've lived it. I had a coach say to me, man, I think the reason why these talks resonate with guys all over the country is you ain't telling somebody else's story. You're telling your own. I am telling you that I used to be a fame-hungry girl. I mean, all I wanted was to have my name on ESPN. That's all I wanted. I wanted to be famous. I wanted people to put up the ropes for me. I wanted people to go, oh, hey, Rachel, can I get a picture with you? You know, I wanted the money. I'm serious. I'm being honest with you guys. This is embarrassing stuff. Like, that's what I wanted. And then I met somebody who completely wrecked my life, who changed my life, and his name was Kevin Turner. He played at Alabama. He was a fullback. He also played for the Patriots and the Eagles. And for you guys that know this, he was a winner of the Ed Block Courage Award. That's voted on by your teammates in the locker room, right? That's like the act, like the total sign of respect. And he had ALS. And instead of pulling the covers up over his head and saying, I'm done with life, I'm out of here, sayonara, he chose to fight for people. He chose to put other people first. He chose to start a foundation and fight for people that didn't have any kind of notoriety, any kind of NFL fame. And y'all, when I met him, I didn't know it at that point. I knew something had changed. But when I met him, I was like, oh my God, my life, something's changed. Like, I knew it was never going to be the same. And in that moment when I met him, that girl that was all about fame and money and prestige and having my name in lights, she died and somebody else was born. The woman that stands in front of you today. You are going to meet a Kevin Turner. It is going to happen for you. I don't know who it is. It might be somebody you love. It might be somebody you know, but you are going to meet a Kevin Turner. And here's what I have to say to you. Don't miss it. Have your eyes open. Have your heart open. Be ready for it. Don't miss it. You're going to meet somebody who is going to wreck your life in the best possible way and take you off the collision course of it's about me, and I don't want you to miss it. I've had people say to me after these talks, Rachel, you literally changed my life. I am never going to forget this. Do you know that when somebody says that to me, that is 10,000 times more important, feels better, more amazing than any time I've ever voted for the Heisman, than any time I've ever hosted the college football playoff, than any time I've ever hosted on Sirius? Because we're talking about lives being changed, right? I want you to feel the same way. I want you to feel what it feels like to walk in front of somebody and pour your guts out and say, here I am. I'm going to serve you. I'm going to give you everything I got. I'm going to leave it all right here. And I feel like, and I know when you find that passion of what you were created for, it makes you better football players. It makes you better human beings. You know, I'm better in every other area of my life because I do this. And see, I want you to be the kind of men at the end of the day that can look yourself in the mirror and be proud of the man that's standing back at you. Be proud of the man that's staring back at you. I'm not going to ask anybody to raise their hands, but let me tell you something. I can speak from experience. There was a point in time in my life for about 9 years, I would not have been proud of the woman that was staring back at me. I was not. And if I stopped to take stock of it every night, I would not have been proud. And some of you have been harboring things, holding on to things. You've been doing something the wrong way. You've been keeping something in the dark. You got some unforgiveness in your heart. You got something, some kind of junk in there that's keeping you from being able to look in the mirror at night and be proud of the man that is standing back at you. I want you to be able to look in the mirror and go, okay, from sun up to sundown, I'm proud of my actions, right? So I held the door for that lady. I treated this nice lady nicely. I gave Max effort in class. Even though that person's test was to the left of me and I could see all their answers, I didn't look at it. I didn't loaf in practice. I helped my teammates. I helped a new guy on the team if I'm an upperclassman. If I'm a young guy, I try to get to know people. Whatever it may be. And here's a novel idea. If there's something when you look yourself in the mirror at night that you're not proud of, go fix it. Somewhere along the way, in this world that we're in, music, culture, movies has told all of us, but especially men, that you don't have to be accountable. Somewhere along the way, culture has told men, excuse me, coach, that you can hit it and quit it. Somewhere along the way, culture has told men that we, women, aren't valuable, that we're a piece of you-know-what. And I had somebody tell me, a former football player that drove me in an Uber when I got to the airport, he said, I played at Arkansas State, and he said, it all changed for me when I had daughters. He said, I thought about how the text I was sending, the way I was acting, the way I was treating, the things I was doing, would I want my daughter to read that? Would I want my daughter to be on the other end of that? Right? So I want you to be the kind of men that can look in the mirror every single day and be proud of the man that is staring back at you. And if not, fix it. I want you to find what it is you're passionate about. Find what it is you are crazy about. And some of you already know. Some of you know. You came from a rough neighborhood, and there's kids back in that neighborhood that maybe if you got a hold of them and you got a football camp organized, or you went back there. Another guy said, there was homeless twins living under a bridge when I grew up in Atlanta. And he said, I'm haunted by their faces every single day. And because of that, I want to start a homeless shelter. So for every one of you, it's something different. And you may know right this second, or you may need some time to think about it. But I want you to be thinking about and message me when you figure it out, when you go, aha, or maybe you'll tell me tonight here afterwards. Tell me what it is you're crazy about. Tell me what it is you're passionate about, and we'll help you. I will help you, just like I've helped these other people start it, change it, do it. If you're one of the people who wants to go, one of the men that wants to go into junior highs and high schools and save a kid from throwing it all away, I'll teach you how to do that. And I'll teach you. I'll hold your hand. If that's you, I'll hold your hand as you start that foundation, whatever that might be, and change the world. How amazing is that? Because a lot of you are going to walk out of here. I see it. I'm looking at you. I'm watching you. I've made eye contact with you the whole time. You've gotten it. I hope you find something that makes you feel the way I feel right now. Because I'm exhausted. I've been to 4 or 5 schools this month alone, as well as having a job. But I'm exhausted, but my heart's happy. Because I know there are men in this room that got it, and that 1 would have protected me that night, and 2 men in this room that their lives are going to be changed because of this talk. And that gives me all the fuel I need to keep going. And I want you to feel the same way that I feel. And you were created to feel that way. Not just the way it makes you feel when you make a great block or a great catch or a great throw. You were created for more. You were created to feel more and to be more. And when you feel more and when you are more, everything else falls into place. You'll be a king. I appreciate you guys.